I just didn't want him to die.
I don't want to ask a ham-fisted question over something so sensitive and traumatic. Is part of the fact that you embrace aging because your twin didn't get the chance?
No, I don't think that was ham-fisted. No, I mean, in a way, I wish I had that moment. You know, people go like, and then I lived my life.
Yeah.
I realised I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for Rupert. You know, and I just like wish it was that simple, you know, that I could sort of have that. I had a near-death experience, never look back. I don't think so. The weird thing about Rupert, in a way, is actually I was talking to a friend of mine. We both went to school together at this, you know, school. And we both had, you know, horrible experiences at prep school. And we've become friends again. He's a twin. He was saying, the thing about being a twin is if my twin went, I'd still think he's around. And I was like, yeah, that's what I think. So everyone thinks being a twin, it must be like the even worse, the you know, the rip, the grief, the, you know, the ripping apart of someone leaving this earth. But actually, I feel him the whole time. So it's quite beautiful. And I was talking to him today. You know, it really is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so, weirdly, I think being a twin has made it less hard. Probably not for my parents, you know. And also, when you lose someone, they all have a different role. Like, I'm not a mother. I'm not a father. You know, so for my parents, and that's why often families fall apart, because grief can tear families apart. It hasn't with ours, because I realised that I'm not a mother. You know, I'm not a father. I'm just a twin brother. You know, sometimes I get annoyed with him still. Oh, for fuck's sake, Rupert. You know? Yeah. But I don't often miss him. And then sometimes it just comes in where I'm like, oh, he was quite funny, actually. But when you've had someone that's created a lot of difficulty in your life as well, there's a relief that comes with them not being there. And I know that's a very risky thing to say in a way, but I said it when I did the documentary, and I think people that have lived with people that have addiction problems, either friends or parents, you know, most people probably have at some stage, there is a relief because all that's gone, you know, and I can sort of see his brilliance again. He's just in another place.
You mentioned an extraordinary documentary that you did with your parents on Channel 4 about his death and his illness. And you talked in that about being his carer for a few months before he died.
A few years.
Yeah. Looking back at those years now, what do they mean to you?
Well, I tell you what really means. I'm so pleased we had COVID together because we were in Los Angeles. I'm just so pleased we had that time because we had quite a good time then. And he wasn't drinking and he was helping me with my dogs who I just rescued. And then we came back and then he started drinking again and it sort of got bad and then he took his life. So I'm really pleased we had that time. When I look back on the overall time, it was really awful. You know, I mean, it was really difficult working, caring for him, cleaning the sheets every day, washing because he would have pissed himself, wiping his ass, you know, getting drinks for him, getting pills, he's addicted to cocodamol. I mean, by the way, it's very codependent behaviour, but it was just all I knew what to do. It was just the easiest way of trying to like taper the drinks. And so it was exhausting. It was exhausting. I remember doing a show and in between the matinee and the evening performance, he'd kicked off and been arrested and taken to some psych ward, and I had to get to the psych ward, try and get him out and get back for the evening performance. But you just do it. But that was driven by, I just didn't want him to die. I just didn't want him to die. And then I realised, like, I am going mental and I am going down with the ship. And, like, it could even be the case that I die before him. Do you know what I mean? It was like, I felt so ill. So I had to release that and be like, you can't do this anymore because you're not living a life. So I had to kind of give it up. But it was driven by just trying to keep him alive. I did a pretty good job.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Thanks for tuning in. And if you found this video enjoyable, be sure to check out the full episode on your preferred podcast platform. And make sure you're following How to Fail on social media for additional content and updates.